I once again thank very, very much the sponsor of this series of Midas of Moshiach Marathon, and I am grateful to him for making this series possible and for allowing us to present to the CBOR the website of trainingpostgame.org to participate in our campaign. The next attribute we're going to talk about today in our Mashiach Midas Marathon, which, like any marathon, after running for a long time, you can maybe get a little tired, but I'm going to try to find a second window here. The next Midah is the Midah number 9 in my count, which is Chachmas Seifram Tisrach. Chachmas Seifram Tisrach. Now the word Sirchon, implies rotting. And there's a number of reasons why something can rot, right? And in the commentary of the Hon Usher, we've quoted before here in this Midas Mashiach Midas Marathon series, right? He explains as follows: why is it going to be Chachma Sofrim Tisrach? Why will it be putrid? It'll be putrid. Says the Hon Usher because Yisgai b'Chachmasa. It's talking about the Lomdei Torah. The Lomdei Torah will have a degree of haughtiness in their Torah study, right? And he quotes a source for this in the Tan of Elio, Shnasan Yado al Mechirav Shavrei Eitzel Goy, right? Elio Hanavi, when he passed by Baal Gaiva, he covered his nose from the stench of the person who has Gaiva, because Gaiva is Masriach, Rosman and Avela. Even worse than a dead carcass whose meat is rotting on the ground is the Baal Gaiva. Because Gaiva is not roy for anyone to have, except for the Bali Erlim. The only entity who's fit for Gaiva is none other than a Kadosh Baruch Hu himself, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu himself is roy for Gaiva, but we shouldn't avoid Gaiva at all costs because it is very, very improper for a Basar Adam to have Gaiva. And that's one shot in Chachmas Sofrim Tisrach. The Zohar in Parshas Naso, it's in the Maimer of the Eir Rav Oskos Beis in the parish of the Sulam. Yeah, it says a different shot that as we get closer and closer to the end of days, so the Torah will become more and more and more superficial, and that superficiality, right, is getting us farther and farther away from the pneumius of Torah, and that is like Sirchon to a certain extent. Yeah. That's Chochmah Sofrim Tisrach, is that the pneumius, the inner message of the Torah, will disappear, and then we will be stuck with the outer trappings of Torah by themselves, without the inner depth of the Torah. And this is the reason why Torah will become putrid, right? The Torah will become putrid. Perhaps the most simple explanation here of Chochmah Tisrach is talking about other people, right? It's talking about the Haman Am, the people around who are in the streets, and the general attitude to Torah is going to be that it's considered something disgusting, right? People will hear and think of Torah and look at it as the worst possible thing a person could be doing is to be studying Torah. And that's so unfortunate because it's so far from the truth. The best thing that a person could possibly do is to study Torah. Torah is life, Ki Chayenu, and Torah gives us health, and it gives bracha, it brings bracha to the world. And there's so many good things the person who learns it, the Shema, and does it properly. So we should try and turn the tide, as it were, right? We should, as a lashon of the wording of the Chacham is Maksar to return the crown to its glory. Return the crown of Torah to its glory, and speak about how wonderful Torah is, and how wonderful Talmidei Chachamim are, and what a great gift they are to society, how much they do for society, as the Chazal tell us, Talmidei Chachamim may be Shalom Loi. I once heard the name of Rabbi Zalman Meltzer. He said that they bring peace to the world because they don't care about things that are silly. Their whole desire in life is only elevated things um, like understanding the depth of Torah and things like that. But they're not, involved with this, that, and the other things which are not proper for a Talmid Chacham to be involved with. So therefore, as much as possible, let's try to beautify Torah. Instead of being putrid, let's try to bring it up and up and up. Let's avoid gaiva at all costs, because gaiva makes it turn into something putrid. And let's instead be totally given over to the Torah and those who learn it and beautify it. And I'm going to show up with one very important point, which I saw in the Sefer Horos Nosson Gestetner. Right? He speaks about the idea of a sefer, right? We're talking about Chachma Sefer Tisra, right? Sefer implies that people write Svarim, and a sefer is a very, very great thing. I can tell you, I've written a few of them. It's a tremendous amount of work, but it forces you to get clarity. It forces you to find, to get a point which you might not get if you weren't writing sefer. You most probably wouldn't get. It's only the obligation that you have to write the sefer and then to write it down to teach other people. It gets us to the depth of the Torah. And that's Chachmas Seifrim Tisrach. People even they look at the Svarim that are being produced from the Olam HaTorah and say, what do you need this for? Why is that important? Right? Enough Svarim already. Right? One person once told me I was a big Svarim buyer when I was younger. So what do you need all these for? They're just acquiring dust. Everyone is just another dust acquirer. And that was very sad that that's the way they looked at it. But what can you do? What can you do? Right. Uh, in any event, this is the concept behind Chochmah Sofer and Tisrach, and there is a right. We say that we say in Tchias HaMesim, right? The second bracha, of Shemona Esrei. So we say, excuse me, we say. B'chalkam Chaim b'chesem b'chaim mesim b'rachmim v'sameich naflim b'rachmeichol v'tzesrei Chaim v'som v'shnei v'far Mi chamoicha b'al gros mitzvah melech meimos v'chaim Matzmiach Yeshua, right? Matzmiach Yeshua, Tzemach Yeshua, Yeshua Tzemach. In order to have smichas Yeshua, first you need tzirchon. First the seed has to rot in the ground, and only then does it sprout. So this is perhaps another idea in Chacham Sofer from Tisrach, right? There will be a tzirchon, there will be something which is, as it were, disintegrates and becomes tzirchon, but that very same tzirchon is the Matzmiach Yeshua, and it's going to allow for the eventual redemption to take place. Kodesh Baruch Hu should give us the greatest siyata d'shmaya to be able to accomplish, right, to accomplish the changing the tide, and instead of being Chochmah Sofer Tisrach, it should be Chochmah Sofrim is beautiful and wonderful and praised in the name of every single person in the world. Amen. Cain. T.